everybody has good skills. And that's what I really want to, like, none of these are good or bad in any way. Like, mine's not good or bad. I'm not bad because I have these things at the bottom. You know, my sales manager is not good or bad because of whatever his is. Everybody's just different. And so everybody has a seat on the bus. And so where this matters is you as an employer, if you are hiring for a position, you want to make sure if you're hiring for a sales position, their strength finder meets some of the same criteria or the same strengths as somebody that's a really good salesperson. What's going on, Real Dealz podcast listeners? I'm coming at you with show 381 this week. I am pretty excited about this week's episode. I just do a solo show this week, and I am going over StrengthsFinder. It's a test that we have all our employees or people that we work with take. A lot of my buddies take it, their employees take it, and it's a really good tool to identify strengths and weaknesses in people and making sure that they are on the right bus. And this is good for solo entrepreneurs and people with huge teams. You need to know what seat on the bus you should be. So the more and more I've learned this year, I'm a good number 2. I am not the best number 1. I'm not a Tucker. He is a CEO, level-headed person, similar to my wife. They make good decisions. They're analytical. They don't make quick decisions, and they're not emotionally driven. Completely opposite of me. But I'm accepting of the fact that I am a number 2, and I actually think that's a good role to play. So, you know, Kobe had Shaq, Jordan had Scotty, you know, all these people, their number 2s are needed, and I'm okay with that. So that's what we talk about in this week's show. And I go really deep into my strength finder and my wife's strength finder because we are completely opposite. And I talk about a lot of the skills that we both have. And I think it's going to be a very good episode. And I also talk about a couple employees that we have and one guy that we did have that worked for us that was really good. We just had him in the wrong seat. So what is going on with us this week? Last week, my wife told me I needed to get focused because I was doing too many things and I needed to lock up some deals. So we ended up locking up 2 deals, 1 verbal and 1 inked up last week, 1 in Vancouver and 1 in Tri-Cities. We're doing the sewer scope today for the 1 in Tri-Cities, which then we will get that inked up as long as that's all good. So both deals, I'm just taking probably a small cut on and putting a little bit of money in the bank account so we can get on to the next. Not looking to do any big rehabs right now. The 1 in Vancouver, my partner wanted to take it down and just keep it. So he's going to pay us something out for that. And then he can kind of keep it. We've done that a couple of times. You know, if somebody raises their hand and says, I want this, we say, okay, what would you pay for it? What's a fair number? And then we just pay the other person that fair number. So everything all works out. Other than that, the call center is rolling right along. Everything seems to be going really, really good with that. It has been a little slow on the client side just because I've been traveling a ton. People are traveling a bunch with their families and the lead flow is jumping up dramatically for clients, but our clients have dropped down a little bit. Just people are taking a pause, taking a break from their marketing. But I actually feel like this is the time to push the pedal to the metal. So we're actually increasing callers. A lot of our clients that have stuck with us are actually increasing their callers quite a bit. And the results are very, very good. So very excited about that and how that's going and the traction we have there. Also, we've been working really hard in the last, let's say 6 months with our data provider of ways that we can make it easier for people in the public to buy data. And also, we make a little bit of money on it. We don't make a ton. So we have a platform. So we're going to be selling data at easy skip trace. You can just upload a list there and the pricing is very, very competitive. And you just load your CSV file up on that website and then it will send you how much you're going to pay. You pay the bill and it'll shoot you over the skip trace list in 5 minutes. It's a super fast API process. And the cool thing about it is there's no minimum. So if you want to skip 10, great, cool. If you want to skip 1 million, then skip 1 million. Actually, if you want to skip 1 million, call me and I'll work out really, really good pricing on that because it's all volume based in that sense. But that is at easyskiptrace.com. But also we're also putting it on the Real Dealz site. And it's just the Real Dealz podcast website. There will be a spot in there for that where you can just, again, upload your list and get a skip trace version back. We've done so much testing with data over the last year because data is the lifeblood of our call center. And I use it, Cole uses it, we're clients of our, our own company. And so we need the best data. So we've tested everywhere, Batch, IDI, Skipforce, we've tested Lead Sherpa, every site you think you can imagine. We've tested all of those against our data, and our data crushes everybody hands down. Maybe we don't get the most hits. We're still a very high hit rate, but the company we use and we partner with, it does not want to just send hits with shit data. So that's really cool. Some of these tests, when we've tested against, regulated, which is like debt collector data, really good. That's the best data you can get. You can't get it for real estate. It's actually illegal to use that kind of data for cold calling in real estate. It's only like debt collector, like credit data, but that's like the gold star. And when we test our data against other companies, get with that debt collector data, blind tests, our accuracy is doubling the top person that sells data in this industry. And they sell probably 90%. Most of the data is coming from one source, really. And we beat them on accuracy hands down. So our match rate for first phone number, which is usually going to be your right phone number, is like 90%. The top leading industry leader is at like 47%. And it goes throughout on the first 3 phone numbers. It's just amazing that we can get better quality data and we can sell it to you cheaper than they are selling it to people. I mean, it's pretty cool, pretty exciting there. So if you're looking to get some data, just go to those sites. If you need lists, we can help you with lists. Email Spencer at Call Magic Leads. We can help you with lists, and we can include that in the data price as well. So you're not having to go buy a bunch of lists. So really excited. We're also going to be partnering with other influencers or people that have groups that we can plug this same API on their site, and then they can sell the data as well to their company. So if you're an influencer and you have, a following that you want to sell data to your customers and make a little bit extra money, you can also sell that as well. So pretty cool stuff. Other than that, we're building out our multifamily list and really diving in deep. It's kind of a pain in the ass because we had our VAs scrub most of it. We scrubbed a ton of it, but commercial data is really difficult to get all the information. We're paying for CoStar, which is a really expensive monthly service that's like the best of the best data for commercial properties. But then we've got our list pared down, but now I want to go through and look at the whole list myself and every lead that we're marketing to, because I just have a gut feeling of things, of like, I can see things better. You can't really teach the gut feeling sometimes. You just have to have experience and see it and be able to make a quick decision if like, this is a good one to market to. Which bucket is this one going to be in the marketing? We have 5 different categories that we're labeling them. So we have our Norman list, which is the top 1% list. So this is like somebody that's owned the property for 20 plus years, that's free and clear, the guys that are in their 60s to 80s that maybe are ready to sell. And so that's our top 1% list. And then we have number 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. 5s we kick. We don't want 5s. Those are the ones we take out. 4s are like, we'll market to them on a second go around. So we're really focused on the 1s, 2s, and 3s right now. But each number and category of property that we put them in will get different levels of marketing for the most part. But we did build out a full marketing plan. It is down by the day. So day 1, we're doing X all the way down to day 127 of when the final cycle is. So when you're building these more niche campaigns, so like maybe you have a really highly targeted driving for dollars list, and tax delinquent or vacant and deceased list, or you have a very specific list, it's very important to spend the money on the marketing, quality marketing, but then plan out all your stages and don't miss those deadlines. So literally we have it planned out by the day. So day 1, we're going to shoot a text. Day 7, we're going to order marketing from open letter marketing. Day 14 is when that marketing should hit. And these are handwritten letters. Then day 17, we're doing a ringless voicemail. Day 21, we're doing another ringless voicemail. Day 40. I'm just making up numbers because I don't have it in front of me. But day 40, we are ordering marketing for the people that still haven't responded, a different level of marketing. Then we're doing a ringless voicemail or a text follow-up. Then day 70, we're doing another mailer, different type of mailer, and we're going through the same cycle. A lot of it built off of what Tucker's taught over the years as well. And we're just using open letter marketing for the direct mail. And if you are looking to order direct mail, you can use Elliot 5, Elliot 5. It'll give you 5% off on their marketing. And so I use that for my own business. I don't get paid. He's not paying us for advertising it at all. They're just a good partner with us in a lot of different things. So we push them as well. Then we use Roar for our ringless voicemails. We use Roar for some of our texting as well. Some of them I'm going to send individual through CallRail, but that is kind of how we're going to do it. We're broken up of like which company, because we're partnering with the guy on the west side, which sales guy is answering this one, phone numbers, where are we dropping the mail from, so it's stamped properly, where, all these different things. We built this out to a T. So we did that when we were in Kirkland. That was pretty cool. I just want to tell you a little bit. So that is like high level marketing. You got to plan this out. Remember, if you're going off market, you are in the marketing game. Your job as a marketer. Yes, you might be buying houses and apartments and things like that. But at the end of the day, my job is to market and do it and be marketing and sales. That's what my job is. So other than that, hopefully you guys like this show. I would listen all the way to the end. There is also going to be a YouTube version of this if you want to actually follow along and read some of the things. I read them off, so you don't need to watch it if you don't want to, but I literally read everything off, word for word, and go break down all these different things of assets and, that we have as a person, and my strengths and my weaknesses, and why I am the way I am, and why there's a good balance, and what makes a CEO level person, what makes a good salesperson, what makes a good operations manager, all these different things, why I'm shitty at hiring, all these different reasons. And I think it's just going to really help your business. If you listen to this, probably a show you're going to want to listen to a couple of times, or pause it and actually take some notes. So hope you guys enjoy it, and I will catch you next week. What's going on, Real Dealz podcast listeners? This is going to be show 381. All right. So this week we are not doing an interview series. I had Kent Clothier signed up. He bailed on me once to do the show. If you don't know who that is, it's a pretty big guy out of the East Coast. And then, so he rescheduled to do it yesterday, and then they had something come up again, second time. So I just asked him. I have a policy that anybody that is too busy to cancel and cancels twice on me, obviously they don't want to do it. So I am doing this show this week, but I think actually it's going to be better. I mean, I haven't talked to that guy before, but I think it's going to be really good. This show is going to be a lot about finding your strengths and building a team around strengths and weaknesses. And so I think this is a very important tool. And I think it's also a very important tool, whether you're building a team or whether you're a solopreneur and you're just doing this self, because you really need to know you're wearing a lot of hats when you're doing this by yourself, or say your wife is helping you. And you need to know, like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And so you can outsource later on down the road what your weaknesses are, right? So work really good on those. So we use a company called Clifton StrengthsFinder. It's a Gallup deal. They're a polling company, but it's they have a 34 results StrengthsFinder test. And they actually have a whole book that goes with it that really breaks down. And we learned this tip from a couple of our friends that run a really big business up in Seattle. They've been on the show, Ian Morrell and Zach Lazo. They run a StrengthsFinder test for every position. And so they have in their company who their top talented people are in certain positions, let's say a sales position or an admin position or an operator position or whatever, or a construction management position. And they have those people. And so those people have taken a Clifton StrengthsFinder test, and all those people that are top in their roles all share very similar traits for the most part. And so this is going to be a show that you can listen along. I'm going to try to do my best to make sure that you can listen along to this, and I'm going to verbalize it, but it's also going to be one that you might want to watch as well. And so you can check that out on my YouTube channel. It's Elliot Smith, REI, and you can go watch this, because I'm actually going to go over some reports and break them down to my report, my wife's report, my sales guy report, an operations person, admin, executive admin, and kind of break it down. And I've done this training with other guys before of what you're looking at and what you're looking for. And so I'm going to be very blunt about the things that I'm good at and the things that I'm very bad at. And we'll kind of dive in of where these things matter. So we'll get into it here. And so again, this is a Clifton StrengthsFinder test. And again, this tool is amazing. It's like $50 for this test. so worth it. So much more explanation than like a disc profile or some of these other ones that maybe only give you 4 things. This dives in really, really well to who you are and what you're good and bad at. So, all right, sharing my screen here, but I'm also going to verbalize out through this deal. So this is my report. I'm not going to tell anybody else's names other than myself and my wife's. And then the other ones, we will just kind of talk about their role and responsibility and what they're good at. So my top strengths, my top 5 is communication. I have a podcast. I like to talk. I don't shut up. So communication is my good one. Woo, ideation, arranger, and maximizer. Those are my top 5. And we'll round out the top 10. Positivity, competition, activator, includer, and futuristic. Those are my top 10. And then my bottom 5 are very interesting as well. We'll actually go bottom 6. So 29, empathy, context, restorative, discipline, consistency, and deliberative. And I'm going to go over what each one of these means and kind of speak to why they're good and what traits are good in those and what traits are bad in those. And so there's a lot more. Scroll down here to the bottom and just do the the 30,000 foot view of what these are. And each one of these things come in different buckets. So there's an executing strength, an influencing strength, a relationship building strength, and a strategic thinking strength, right? So you have your influencer, your operators, and then you have so you have your guy like me who's more of the visionary, the idea guy, the sales guy, things like that. And then you have your operators that are more executing and strategic thinking and planning. One thing that Tucker has, and I listened to a ton of books, and I was talking to Spencer today about all the books I read and listen to. And my favorite books are ones that are listing of like CEOs or people that have run big companies or started big companies. So biographies on these guys like Sam Zell, the Blackstone guys. I just finished a really good one on Carrion. It's called The Gambler. And it talks about these guys that are billionaires and who they are. And I think those guys that are the billionaires, they tend to have really good, strong qualities in both categories. They have the vision and the idea, but they also have the discipline and the execution. They're almost like a visionary integrator all into one. And that's why they're billionaires, right? Because they're superhuman. Most people, they're either one or the other for the most part. So my number 1 strength is communication. That falls under the influencing category. So people exceptionally talented in the communication theme generally find it easy to put their thoughts into words. They are good conversationalists and presenters. So I am a good presenter and I'm a really good conversationalist. I can blend conversations. If you want to talk about sports, I can talk about, the opera. I can talk about all these politics. I can talk about all these things. I can be a chameleon in a lot of ways. So I am very good at communication. Second that I have is woo. It's influence. So influencing, that's another. So the top 2 are influence that I have so far. So people exceptionally talented in the woo theme love the challenge of meeting new people and winning them over. They derive satisfaction from breaking the ice and making a connection with someone. Again, one of my favorite things to do is connect people and meet new people. That's networking events. I'm really good at doing that. I don't get nervous going to meeting new people. I love the challenge of, we had Ken McElroy on this show 6-8 months ago. I enjoy the challenge of really building a relationship with him and being strategic on how do I build a relationship and be a friend with him. And maybe down the road, we do business together, maybe not, but I want to be friends with that person. Right. And so that is a challenge, winning them over to like myself. And so that is number 2. That is these top 2, very important for salespeople. This is why I'm a good sales guy. Very, very important. So if you're hiring a sales guy that doesn't have these in the top 5, most likely the top 3, at least one of the 2 in the top 3, and both of them in the top 5, they're probably not the best sales guy. Number 3, ideation, strategic thinking. People exceptionally talented in the ideation theme are fascinated by ideas. They are able to find connections between seemingly disparate phenomena. So basically, I love ideas. Again, I love connecting. So you hear it in there. They find connections between different things. So I love talking to people and I love connecting people. So I love the idea. So I'll think, okay, my buddy over here is doing X projects or whatever. And I'm talking to this guy right now that is looking for an X project or a place to put money or partner with in X kind of project. And I know this buddy over here needs help in this area. And I'm like, you two would be a really good fit. like I've put a lot of people together that have partnered and done deals and brought money or whatever. And I've built a lot of really good relationships with other people that I've connected with them. And that is a good quality in the sense where I can then be what I'm good at. I'm a sales guy. So I can go and meeting people. So I can network with people that have money, and then I can network with people that have deals. And then I can connect the money and the deals together, and I can make money by putting those two people together or finding a way to get myself in that deal as well. Perfect example. We were talking about the 13 unit we're building. And so I had a buddy that we were partners with in another deal that happened to have this deal. He reached out, hey, do you know anybody that can develop or build? I want some information on if these couple properties are a good deal or not. And I said, you know what? I do. I have a developer builder. Why don't I connect you with him? And they were talking, and the guy's like, this property is no good, but this one's really good. I think we can build XYZ. Turns out 13 unit. So they start talking. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of this. No big deal. My buddy, Rudd says, Elliot, you're coming to the meeting, right? And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm not adding any value. He's like, you added a ton of value because you put us together. Well, I ended up coming in. I raised the money to take down the dirt for the 140 with one of my lenders. He was going to build it. The other guy bought the deal, and he was going to help manage it. Well, so they were going to go 40, 40, 20. I was going to get 20% of the deal for doing those things. More than fair, in my opinion. Well, the buddy that brought the deal actually owned another property with us. And he's like, hey, how about we swap equity out of these deals? I'll give you my 40% in the 13 unit, but I'll take your equity and give you your cash back in this commercial building. Done deal. Perfect. Let's do it. So then I have now 60% equity in the 13 unit, but I actually gave 10% back to the other partner because I wanted to be fair. So, and I want everybody to align with their vision for what the deal is going to be. And I think that's important to be equal partners if the value is generally the same, equal on doing the deal. So number 4, arranger. This is in the executing block. And it says people exceptionally talented in the arranger theme can organize, but they also have a flexibility that complements this ability. They like to determine how all of the pieces and resources can be arranged for maximum productivity. So again, it goes back to I'm moving chess pieces with this person, this deal, this thing, and connecting these people. And I'm arranging these things in a way that fits really well. And again, that is really what I have grown to find out that is one of my strong suits. And I'm gearing more towards that right now. Number 5, maximizer. This is a very important one for I think all employees that are going to be at a high level. This is influence, but it says people exceptionally talented in the maximizer theme focus on strengths as a way to stimulate personal and group excellence. They seek to transform something strong into something superb. So they want to maximize the situation. They want to maximize everything they're doing. So they want to grow a company. They're not just showing up for a paycheck. They actually want to grow and be better, and they want to do it for the team as well. So this is an influencing category. So these are good leadership qualities. So if you have somebody in a leadership role that doesn't have a maximizer in their top 5, then they're probably not going to be the best person in the leadership that's going to drive your agenda and really grow and push your business. So that's my top 5. I'm going to drop down to my bottom 5 now. Now, these are the ones where it's very interesting. So sales guy, as we've talked about, I'm an idea guy. I'm very ADD all over the board. I'm very up and down, kind of very bipolar, hot, cold, hot, cold. And so this is where I really struggle. So my bottom 5, number 30 is context, strategic thinking. People exceptionally talented in the context theme enjoy thinking about the past. They understand the present by researching its history. I don't think about the past very often. I am very much stuck in the future. I'm always trying to learn new things to grow into the future. I don't look that much in my past. I try to forget a lot of it unless it's very good learning lessons or happy memories, but I am not spending a ton of time in the past, dwelling on the past. And I think that's an important quality. Number 31, restorative. This is an executing theme. So people exceptionally talented in the restorative theme are adept at dealing with problems. They are good at figuring out what's wrong and resolving it. So I am good at solving some problems. Where I am not good at solving problems is when it becomes an emotional problem, where say I have an emotional attachment or tie to it. Then I make very rash decisions. one thing that I like about Tucker is very, very good at solving problems and doing it with a non-emotional way. I think that is a really good quality. This is a good quality that a CEO would have, right? They are good at making level-headed decisions. They sit back and they look at the whole chessboard before making a move on their piece, or like if they have to sacrifice a pawn or a knight or something, or sacrifice a piece to then move forward and still eventually win, they are very good at doing that in a non-emotional way. I am not good at sacrificing things. I feel very bad when I have to, like, if I had to lay somebody off or somebody doesn't like me or there's an emotional connection there, I get emotional. This is a struggle for me. This is where I'm not a good CEO. Tucker is a good CEO. My wife is a good CEO in that thought process because she can make non-emotional decisions. Number 32, discipline. This is executing. You'll see a theme here. People exceptionally talented in the discipline theme enjoy routine and structure. Their world is best described by the order they create. I hate routine and structure. That is why I would never work in an office job. This is why I really liked Fran's, because I was always moving around from route to route. I enjoyed it because it was always something different. I couldn't do the same thing every day. I also don't like routines and structure. Like, everything's different. Like, I don't do well in structure. I'm forcing myself right now to get up every morning at 6:45 to go to the gym, but I don't want to do that. But it's just kind of how it is. But I never clock out at exactly 5 o'clock every day. It's either I go home early or I work till 8 o'clock. There's no routine. It's not the same every day. So number 33, consistency, executing theme. People exceptionally talented in the consistency theme are keenly aware of the need to treat people the same. They crave stable routines and clear rules and procedures that everyone can follow. I do not like consistency. I, again, like things to be different. I am not good at this. I don't do well with good routines. I don't do good with rules. I'm very much a bend the rules, gray area type of person. And so I don't like those things. So this is why I didn't do well in school, because it was routine and it was stability and you had to do all these things a certain way. And this is why I sucked in high school. I was terrible. I almost flunked out. And this is why I didn't do well in college. But it's funny because if you put me in tests, like when I tested into college and I basically went into all high school classes is what I tested into, by, mainstream standards, I am not a smart person. But if you look at me from a level of, I study a lot. I listen to all these books. I read books. I learn things, crazy things. I watch YouTube videos on just to learn new things. I am very smart, but just not one that's, stable, routine oriented. I zone out. So number 34, deliberative theme, executing. People exceptionally talented in the deliberative theme are best described by the serious care they take in making decisions or choices. They anticipate obstacles. I do anticipate obstacles in some things, but I make very, very quick decisions. I do not think, the very good example would be, I have a good buddy, Jared. He's been on the show before, and he is exact opposite of me. He's very much similar to Chrissy, very analytical, needs to think through, takes a while to make decisions. I get a call one day and from a realtor that says, hey, I have these two houses listed, but they're the same owner. He wants to sell them, wants to just kind of be done with them. They're vacant. Let's go look at them. So I'm like, okay. So I called Jared and let's go look at them. So we go in there to the first one. I walk in, walk the rooms. I'm in and out in a minute. And I said, all right, let's go. Jared's still sitting in the front room. He's analyzing everything about this house. And I'm like, no, let's just go to the next one. We saw it. We know it. You've done over 300 houses or whatever. This. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Go to the next house, get in there. Same thing. He's like, still trying to analyze these things of how these numbers work. And I'm like, no, here's what we need to offer. We need to offer 250. They'll sell for X. We'll put this much roughly into them. I always, buffer a little bit because I make quick decisions. I miss things, right? So I always have a contingency bonus. And I'm like, this is where we need to be. He's like, thinking about it. He's like, okay, I'll buy that. I'll go with you. First time we're doing deals together, I'll buy it. Okay. So we go and we end up getting this deal. And we end up doing really well on them, and they ended up being deals, but he still would have been sitting there analyzing the deals where I knew this guy wanted a quick decision. Let's just make a decision now. Now, where that is not good, that is, I have a hard time. I make quick decisions on employees. I make quick decisions on doing 10 different things and go this direction and this direction and this direction. Or I can make buys that maybe I missed something, which doesn't happen very often, but that is why Chrissy is the asset manager on the bigger buys. And she's the one that is the underwriter and stopgap for me to make sure that I am not missing things. So that is my strength finder. I am grade A, typical sales guy. So you would want a sales guy to have very similar skills to this. And when I've tested other sales guys that are top performers in other companies, their strength finder looks very similar to mine. Now, there's going to be some things in between that maybe are a little slightly different, but basically you're going to be really good with people and you're going to be very good or very bad at executing and like routines and things. That's why sales guys are always all over. They're driving this one, they're moving, they get high off of the sales and the process of doing the sales, but they don't want to do follow-up. They don't want to do lead input. I literally have a VA listen to my phone calls and make notes for me in Podio because I would never sit down and make notes in Podio. I don't want to set the follow-up sequence. I don't want to do those things. Just tell me when I need to call them back. So I don't want to do those things, and I'm not best served at those things. So that's mine. Now we are going to go to Chrissy's. Okay. Chrissy is exact opposite of me. And this is why we work so well together, but why we fought so much in the very beginning. And because we were just two different people in so many different ways. So we'll go over her top. So her top 5, and then we'll go over her bottom. So we're going to go over, so her top 5: futuristic, maximizer, relator, individualization, and analytical. Her bottom 5 is positivity, connectedness, restorative, belief, context, and harmony. So we'll dive in here, and I won't psychoanalyze her too much. But number 1, futuristic. So that's her top thing that she's best at, according to this test. So this falls in the strategic thinking category. People exceptionally talented in the futuristic theme are inspired by the future and what could be. They energize others with their vision for the future. So Chrissy is very good at like seeing out into the future and planning this life. Our whole goal is we wanted to buy rentals to have financial freedom. We've hit that. That's why she's asking me all the time, like, why are you working so much? We've hit our goals, but that was her idea. And she was very good at like selling that goal and telling other people that goal and getting excited about the future of having a better life. So very good at thinking and seeing risk because she is thinking about the future and thinking about downsides. Number 2, maximizer. Again, this is a leader quality, like a CEO quality. She's number 2 in this quality. We talked about this before. I'll read it again though. Influencing. People exceptionally talented in the maximizer theme focus on strengths as a way to stimulate personal and group excellence. They seek to transform something strong into something superb. Chrissy, as she's getting more and more comfortable with her role managing employees, she is very good at pushing and people and allowing them to be superb. Like she wants to turn not only them, but the team to be superb and be really, really good. So that is why she is so good at managing these rentals. That is why she manages all that stuff. And she's good at turning around rentals that we bought, like our 24 unit that she's done outstanding job of turning this rental over. And because she wants to be superb, she's not okay with mediocrity. That's why she's good at that. Number 3, relator. This is relationship building. People exceptionally talented in the relator theme enjoy close relationships with others. They find deep satisfaction in working hard with friends to achieve a goal. Now, this is for people that are maybe more introverted. They have less friends, but a lot more deeper friendships. So one of my struggles is I have a lot of people that I'm friends with, like good relationships with people, but not as deep as somebody like Chrissy would. Now, she might have less people that she's friends with, but she goes really, really deep with them and wants to build something to a common goal and achieve a goal to them. So maybe it's in working out, weight loss, even though she doesn't need to lose weight, but, going to the gym, going on hiking, she has her accountability group with some other women, making them better, but she doesn't want to do it with a ton of people. like a mastermind thing. She just wants to do with a few people. So she's very good at building relationships. And that also makes her a good leader because she's very good at building relationships with our employees, because not only is she going to maximize them and push them to get the most out of them, but she's also going to find deep satisfaction in working hard with them and achieving a goal. So like she made a comment to me the other week and she says, man, we hired these employees. Now I feel guilty about taking time off to go hang out with Monty or be a mom or do things I want to do. And I told her, I'm like, that's the point of hiring employees. But she's like, yeah, but I don't want them to think I'm lazy. So, or I'm not working or whatever. So that right there shows she's thinking about them in the relationship and building a goal. So with that team. So she's a very good team builder in that sense. Number 4, individualization, relationship building. People exceptionally talented in the individualization theme are intrigued with the unique qualities of each person. They have a gift for figuring out how different people can work together productively. So again, she's very good at working with our contractors or the tenants or our employees. And she's a peacemaker. She doesn't like confrontation. And she's very good at diving deep into people and being really intrigued by their qualities. So sometimes I can be shallow and say, I want to level up my friends because everybody says your friendships and friend groups change, the more you go. Chrissy is not. She does want other friends too, but she does not lose track of her roots and building deep relationships with people that she's been, friends with or coworkers with, for the last 10 years that she's known or 15 years. She's very good at those things because she gets very deep and connects with them in that sense. Number 5, analytical, strategic thinking category. People exceptionally talented in the analytical theme search for reasons and causes. They have the ability to think about all of the factors that might affect the situation. This is why she's the asset manager, and she gets to have final say on every big deal that we do, that we're keeping or whatever it is. Flips, I can make those decisions all day long. But buying rentals, like bigger rentals or where our money's going or things like that, she is the one that makes the final decision. Employees, hires, fires, she makes the final decision. She is good because she can see all the pieces and is very good at being analytical and strategically thinking about these things, because that's something that she's really focused on. And she likes diving into the numbers and researching and not missing anything. She would be very similar to what I was talking about earlier with Jared, where, she would want to go into these properties and take 30 minutes and analyze them. And I'm in and out in 5 seconds. Well, that's why I don't design the houses. She does. She builds, the whole rehab checklist. She goes in and analyzes and very strategic on these things. That is a very good quality. That is why we work very, very well together in this sense, because we're so opposite. So now her bottom 5. So number 30, connectedness. This is relationship building here. People exceptionally talented in connectedness theme have faith in the links among all things. They believe there are a few coincidences and almost every event has meaning. This is not her. She's not like a karma deal. She doesn't see she doesn't put 1 and 1 together on far out relationship building. So this is why I'm very good at, because being the connector, I'm like, hey, we're doing this with this guy and maybe taking less money because it will benefit us in the relationship down the road because I want to do more deals, right? We talk about it all the time. Don't, take more than you should on the very first deal. You're not looking at just one deal. You're looking at the next 10, 15 deals. So Chrissy, being the analyzer, she always wants to analyze that one deal, and that one deal lives in its own universe. So there's nothing wrong with both, but it's a very good to have a balance each other out, I would say, in this category, because I can fight for these things of why these things are important to build the relationship and why we might be making less money, or we might be doing this deal with this person instead of doing it by ourselves or whatever. And so it's hard sometimes for her to see that because she's analytical on the one deal thought. So number 31, restorative, which is an executing theme. People exceptionally talented in the restorative theme are adept at dealing with problems. They are good at figuring out what is wrong and resolving it. And so Chrissy is good at, dealing with problems. And so this one always is a little tough, but I think there's different problems that I can solve because she wants to think about it in an analytical way, and every problem is analytical and really put all these things. I can go more off emotion and make quicker decisions when they're there, and I can solve smaller problems or other problems a lot quicker and have ideas. The problem that I'll have is I will give her 10 ideas to solve one problem. She's the one that will pick one of those ideas. So again, why I'm not the best at, solving some of those problems sometimes is because I have 10 ideas on how to solve them. And why she's better is I can give her the ideas and she can take what she wants and find the best one and go pick it at that point and then figure out how to resolve it from there. So number 32, belief. This is executing. People exceptionally talented in the belief theme have certain core values that are unchanging. Out of these values emerge as a defined purpose for their lives. So I would say that this one, Chrissy does have some core values that, Chrissy's ethics are second to none. But this is like your grown up beliefs of you're growing up this way. Like, we go to church every Sunday, and I'm just using that as an example, but like all these different beliefs are like, my life is always the same for the most part. And I don't sway off of who this person is. The reason why this quality and why I love this quality that's low for Chrissy is very good once she sees an idea or gets bought into something to changing her mindset or changing, her thought process behind things. Like I would say this would be stubborn people that are saying it's my way or the highway. It's, this is how it's been done. And we always do it this way. And so she is very good because she will change that belief and she will then, she's open to new ideas and changing and adapting as you go and move forward. So this is a very good, quality that I think she has. And this is why I think it's a positive. Number 33, context, strategic thinking. People exceptionally talented in the context theme enjoy thinking about the past. They understand the present by researching the history. Again, Chrissy and I both are very low on this, and we're both really good at looking at the future. We neither one of us had a perfect childhood in any sense in the word. So we're very good at forgetting about the past and trying to move forward into the future. And so we don't study it and we don't try to like go super dive deep into these things. I am more now going through some counseling to try to figure out because it's hindering me by not researching the past to some extent. So this is a very good one here. But, this means she's always looking forward and not really dwelling in the history or the past that we've had, not only with just me, but in life in general. Number 34, harmony. This is a relationship building. People exceptionally talented in the harmony theme look for conscious consensus. They don't enjoy conflict. Rather, they seek areas of agreement. Chrissy does not do this. Chrissy, this is a very good quality for a leader. Leaders don't like conflict, or leaders they don't like it. Nobody likes conflict in a sense, but the idea is they don't want yes man. She's not a yes man or yes woman. So this would be like, C-level exec that is just a yes, sir, yes, boss. They don't want to ever rock the boat, anything like that. Now, Chrissy doesn't like drama or conflict, but she's not afraid to rock the boat. She's not afraid to speak her mind, and she's not afraid to die on a hill if she believes in something fully 100%. This is why she is the asset manager. No matter how much I try to sway her emotionally, if her core gut tells her, I don't want to do this deal, or I don't want to do these things, or this is a bad idea, she will not just agree with me to agree with me. She will fight it to the death. And that is a good quality, but she doesn't seek out conflict, but that is, she's not always trying to say no just to say no, but you need to have this in being that leadership. Tucker does this really well. Tucker is very even keel. Perfect example. So we have Cole, Tucker, and I in the call center, all equal partners. Tucker is the appointed CEO. Cole is the systems and operations guy, which he's amazing at. And I am the sales guy and the talker. So if Cole and I agree on something of a direction that we think we should go, Tucker then goes with that. He doesn't say anything. He just goes with it. And this is why we love him. Now, if Cole has one idea and I have another idea, Tucker will make that final decision. No matter how much Cole and I fight over our beliefs, Tucker will make the decision and we drop it and we're done. He's the boss. Now, however, if I'm pushing for something and I have an idea and Tucker has a different idea, he is not afraid to snap, and not in a rude way, but say, no, this is what we're doing. And as soon as he says it like that, I know that he's made a decision, and I need to then change my mindset and go to, how do I work with what Tucker wants now? So perfect example. Say Tucker said, I say I want to go after these big Marlins for the call center, whatever, and do all these things. And we go down that rabbit hole, and then he's like, hey, we need to drive some revenue in this one area. And I'm like, no, I think we're going to get these guys. And he says, no, we need to drive revenue in this area. I say, okay, here's my ideas for driving revenue in this area. I'm on your bus because you are the boss. And I want him to make the decisions. I don't want to be the CEO. I don't want to be that person. I'm fine with being a face and the sales guy and all these things. But I think, again, because I make emotional decisions, I can't make the best final say. Now, this is for bigger things. I can make good decisions on certain things, but in this way, so he's not afraid of the conflict that might cause. Like, he's going to hurt my feelings. Like, he said things to me many times that may hurt my feelings. And when it comes from him, I don't get my feelings hurt because I know the way he's saying it is being blunt, and I appreciate blunt. And so that is something that a leader needs to have, but they also need to have the other qualities that Chrissy said about building a team and getting people on your bus and things like that. Tucker is amazing at getting people on his bus, and so is Chrissy. And Tucker is very good with employees. So that is a leader of, an example of a CEO strength finder test in my mind. So I'm going to run through a couple more really quickly and not go as deep into them, but I'm going to kind of just go and say what the role is for this person and why they're doing good in this role. So the next one is my sales manager. So this guy's got to kind of play a chameleon a little bit. He's got to not only understand our operations and our CRM and our systems and be able to get those things done. So he's not only got to be a leads guy, so he's talking to sellers on the phone, but he's going to be the next level. He's kind of replacing me, but he's managing the leads managers, all the leads coming in, making sure the CRM is looking good, tracking KPIs. So he's got to be a little bit of a chameleon on both sides. We're going to go over his real quick and kind of go over his top skills and his bottom ones. So he does a lot of things really, really good, and he's a good asset to our team. So number one, relationship builder. So he is very good at finding deep satisfaction and working hard with friends to achieve a goal. So he's the same thing like Chrissy. He wants to work on a team. So like the nice thing about this guy is he stuck with me on a lot of different things we have going on and changes in the company and, dealing with me going through so many directions, but he sees the vision and wants to build something cool with a team. So he wants to, work with us. Learner, this is strategic thinking. And this is people exceptionally talented in the learner theme have a great desire to learn and want to continuously improve. The process of learning rather than the outcome excites him. So he does. He's not so set on what the outcome is of what we have going, but he's more set on like what he's learning and learning all these new things and putting all these systems and figuring this system, which CRM is best, which one's, which other one is better. Why is this one better? How do I put this person, and learn how to build these roles and scripts and all those things. And so he is very good at this. Analytical. So again, he's a lot like Christy in a lot of ways, and he likes to analyze things. Number 4, individualization, relationship building. So people exceptionally talented in the individualization theme are intrigued with the unique qualities of each person, and they have a gift for figuring out how different people can work together productively. So he's good at putting those roles together. This is why he's not like a full-time sales guy. He's like more of an operations, but he can be really good on the phones and talking with people once it goes to a higher level. But so he doesn't have to convince them of anything at that point. Number 5, responsibility, which is executing. He is very responsible. He always does what he says he's going to do, and he is a good asset. So we'll go down. Maximizer on his list is number 10. And so I think over time that might grow, but that is in his top 10 though. So number 30. So these are the bottom things. Adaptability. So relationship building, they tend to be now people who take things as they come and discover the future one day at a time. He's not a now person. He sees the long-term vision. And so he is good with that. So they tend to go with the flow. These type of adaptability people tend to go with the flow like I do. I go with the flow and I want it now. Very impulsive. He's not. Includer, this is very good. He wants to show people awareness. They show awareness of those who feel left out and make an effort to include them. If you're on the team, great. If not, no big deal. He's not going to go out of his way to bring you into the inner circle kind of deal. But once you're in the inner circle, he is very loyal to a T. So 32, deliberative, executing. This people exceptionally talented in the deliberative theme are best described by the serious care they take in making decisions or choices. They anticipate obstacles. So this seems very self-explanatory. Number 33, strategic. Faced with a given scenario, they can quickly spot the relevant patterns and issues. He can spot some of these things, but he's also very good analytical planner. He wants to go plan it out. And number 34, empathy. It shows that he's not an empathetic person, which shows people exceptionally talented in empathy theme can sense other people's feelings by imagining themselves in other lives or situations. He's not the most empathetic person, but where he is very good at when he is on the phones, because he does some calling for us, is he is very good at getting people to talk to him. And a reason why empathy on the bottom of the list is not a bad thing, he'll call somebody 3 times in a row. I'll call them I won't call him that much because I don't want to offend anybody or it's not worth it, but he'll call them 3 times in a row to get him on the phone. So he is a grinder in that sense. So very good chameleon middle role. So the next one is our executive, another executive in our company that works for us, executive assistant. So number 1, I'm just going to run through there. Achiever, strategic, responsibility, learner, and restorative are her top 5. And then her bottom 5 are deliberative, consistency, maximizer, harmony, and intellection. So that's hers there. And then I am going to go with one that we had a guy work for us before. Super, super good kid. I put him in the wrong seat. It was my fault in a lot of ways. But his top 5 are responsibility, focus, discipline, achiever, futuristic. And his bottom 5 were positivity, empathy, maximizer, adaptability, and woo. So one thing, he is a very good operations person in a lot of ways and just getting the job done. I mean, this guy goes to bed at on time, same time every night. He wakes up at the same time every night. He goes to the gym at the same time. He does, very consistent and responsible, especially for a young man. And so he is very good in these things. And so I find that there is a lot of value to that. And I just had him at that point in the wrong seat on the bus. And I did not do a good job of driving him, to show him how he can be part of the team, because I had him, I set up all these unrealistic expectations from the sales side, but that wasn't where he was going to add the most value to the company. He did close a few deals, but he could add a way more to our company, is being an operations, like a VP of operations, of making sure things get done. Things don't get missed. Everything is diligent and right to the point and done on time. So everybody has good skills. And that's what I really want to none of these are good or bad in any way. Mine's not good or bad. I'm not bad because I have these things at the bottom. My sales manager is not good or bad because of whatever his is. Everybody's just different. And so everybody has a seat on the bus. And so where this matters is you as an employer, if you are hiring for a position, you want to make sure, if you're hiring for a sales position, their strength finder meets some of the same criteria or the same strengths as somebody that's a really good salesperson, right? And so the mistake I made, right, is I put a guy in a sales role that should have been in an operations role. And so he didn't create a ton of sales because he was in the wrong seat. So that is my fault as a business owner. Now, if we would have had him take this, prior to working with us, we would have said, that's not the right seat on the bus. Let's figure out a different role if we think we want to hire you. And so that is where this is important. So really, hopefully this helped you guys. Again, there will be a version on YouTube if you want to watch it, but this is something that's going to help you a ton in your business with where you're hiring. But as an owner, you should take this test so you understand kind of where you are and where you fit in these things, and then go through and read all these different things and go like study this test and figure out more of who you are. And just for fun, even if your wife's not in the business, have her take the test too and kind of go over, strengths and weaknesses and be like, oh, that makes sense. I see that. One of the things Chrissy and I talked about last night is sometimes we don't spend enough quality time together. And we're both maximizers. So that we want to maximize and be efficient. We want to get the most out of everything. And so we're talking about like, say I'm going to the store. It's more efficient for me to just go to the store. And if I'm going to go, I'm either going to take Monty or I'm going to leave it home for whatever reason. But if I'm taking Monty, it's because I want to give her a break and she can have some time to relax so we can both use our time wisely, vice versa. Well, if we want to spend quality time together, maybe we should all go to the store. It might not be the most efficient, but we're actually spending time together as a family, because we get in this thing where we're doing weekends that are family time, but maybe she's doing something with Monty in the morning and I'm doing something else or whatever, or vice versa. Or I go to the gym in the morning. She comes home from work. She goes and gets Monty. I work until she goes to the gym around 5:30. I come home. I relieve her. She goes to the gym. I eat dinner. She makes something else for dinner or whatever. She puts Monty down, or we both put Monty down. Generally, it's one or the other. And then we kind of go off into our own little world. We're maximizing our day and our time, but we're not maximizing the time to spend quality time together. So this would also help in those areas of life as well. So hope you guys got a lot out of this, and I will catch you on the next one.